ideas just got worse. My delivery just got worse. I was out of touch of what people were talking about, the wrong things people were discussing. And because I lost touch of that, I created worse content. So your takeaway here is to not engage in other people's videos to get more views. Just do the action of engaging. The takeaway here is to use purposeful scrolling and active engagement within your niche to figure out what people want to see and show up and give that to your target audience. If you want me to list out what I look for when purposefully engaging specifically so that you can do it too, just comment part 2 and I'll get that out. And we have people in our academy gaining thousands upon thousands of followers per month from the right people by creating the right content, using the right strategy, and using the right approaches to make the content engaging and getting people to stick around and watch to the end. So if you want to take advantage of several years of TikTok experience, broken down into easily digestible courses, 3 TikTok coaches that can help tailor advice to you specifically, and a monthly competition where people who earn a lot of followers actually get cash from us, and for annual members, a full TikTok account breakdown, which we usually charge $500 for, but it's included in the price, and monthly calls, and a 2-week content strategy in your second month to point you in the right direction so that you can monetize on TikTok, then click the link in our bio and we'll see you over there. Treat all of your TikTok videos like no one's ever seen you before, because even if you've been posting for a while, the vast majority of views you get on every single post are going to be from people who have never seen your face. If you approach every single video like this, you'll know that you'll be more stringent with how you're introducing the videos, because you know you need to grab people's attention. So your audio, your visual, your text hooks are going to be great. But also because you know this, it gives you a lot more freedom with your content. If you have a video idea and have about 5 to 10 different ways of how you could present that video, do all 5, do all 10. Post them. If they're different, the small percentage of views coming from your actual followers will still appreciate them because they'll be getting different things out of each video. But it allows you the flexibility to figure out what works for your content specifically sooner rather than later, so you can lean into that and get more and more consistent views over time. Again, treat every single TikTok video like no one's ever seen you before, but most importantly, have fun with it. Now, if you want to join the people we're helping generate thousands of new followers each month and monetize on TikTok, and people like Susan, who before she came to us had an average of 250 views, and now she's getting an average of 5,000 views and above, then consider our TikTok Academy, where we're teaching you everything we know after years of trial and error on TikTok, whilst gaining hundreds of thousands of followers and hundreds of millions of views. And we're providing one-on-one support, which other communities aren't doing, to make sure that your account specifically can grow. And not to mention our monthly competitions, where if you grow the most, we will actually give you hundreds of dollars. So if you want to learn more, click the link in our bio. Trying to grow a TikTok account is a very mentally challenging thing to do. About 6 months ago, I made the switch from TikTok strategist to TikTok creator, and just like everybody else's experience on here, it's been very mentally difficult. But I needed to make this switch because I could know everything I know about the algorithm and growing on the platform, but without understanding what it takes mentally and emotionally every day to get in front of the camera and build an audience, I was never going to give the best advice. And being a content creator and growing on TikTok is difficult because you end up judging yourself based on how your videos are performing, how many views you're getting, how many followers you're gaining each week, if you're getting comments on your videos and whether those comments are good or bad. And that's human. You're putting so much energy into being creative, and likely if you're growing on TikTok, you're growing for a reason. So you're spending a lot of energy working out that reason and making sure your TikTok serves that. But the reality of it day in, day out is never straightforward. No matter how good your content strategy, your views are going to ebb and flow. Sometimes TikTok's not going to push a video out very far. Sometimes you don't have the energy to get in front of camera. And if that happens a lot, you can lose momentum and lose the compounding views you've been building. As it is with a lot of people, it takes a long time to figure out what works for you specifically. And it takes even longer for you to figure out if that's content that you even want to make. But to power through, there are a few things you need to understand. And I've had to take these on board mentally, and it's helped me gain over 120,000 followers in a few months. So first of all, if your views are low, they're likely in a couple of hundred range. When was the last time you saw a couple of hundred people in one room? Even if you're getting low views on TikTok, you're still getting in front of quite a lot of people. So your message is still getting out there and your content is still being seen. So you have to be proud of that. You also have to have a very strong reason for you being on TikTok. Like for myself, is to help others grow on TikTok so they can be a bit more financially free, or even just have more backing behind them so they can share their passions and share their interests, because we don't have long to live on this rock, so we may as well. And me creating content helps us grow our business, which helps me support my family. So figure out your why for turning up on TikTok so you can turn up day in, day out and achieve your goals on here. But once you've understood the perspective perspective and your why. Growing on TikTok is just like everything else. You have to have the right fundamentals and the right plan. You have to understand that change isn't going to happen overnight, and you just have to turn up every day and stick to the plan. If you do your fundamentals right and show up and post a lot of videos, you will reach your goals on here. And obviously your fundamentals are just making sure you've got a good content strategy, getting in front of the people you want to get in front of, making sure your videos are optimized for your audience and for TikTok, and making sure you know how to show up and experiment in the right way so you're constantly evolving to get more and more views over time. I don't know who needed to see this, but if I'm struggling mentally with TikTok and it's my day job, then other people likely are. And this is a good time to mention that we have hundreds of people working together in our academy, all growing together, learning these fundamentals and seeing some crazy results and supporting each other along the way. So if you want to be a part of that, so you can grow your following, grow your presence, get more views and monetize on TikTok, then click the link in our bio and we'll see you over there. TikTok are starting to expose what they use to determine whether a video is going to go viral or not, which is good because a lot of us on here have seen changes in our views over the last few months with all the algorithm updates. So I'm going to explain what the crack is now. So make sure you save this so you can come back to it later, and drop us a follow for TikTok growth content where I'm sharing how I grew this account alone to over 130,000 followers in a few months and how I'm helping others do the same. Now TikTok are exposing what they're looking at through their meetings with their agency partners. If you hadn't heard of this, if you're kind of working on the TikTok platform in some form of professional sense, you get assigned an account manager and you get to speak to people at TikTok. And periodically these people get the green light to share some things about the algorithm. They've been talking about how they're now ranking videos. This does explain how videos are getting more views, but I think it's important to note here why they've changed up this language. TikTok is now trying to become the best search engine they can possibly be. Think of it like Google, but with videos. They're more bothered about making the right videos rank highly if you search something on TikTok compared to just making videos go viral. They're trying to use how well something ranks to make it go viral rather than having a viral video rank highly, if that makes sense. TikTok doesn't care how many followers you have anymore. All they're bothered about is that you're making the best video for a specific topic that someone might search. Now that clarification aside, TikTok have told us the metrics that we have to be optimizing for if we want to rank higher and therefore go viral more often. And it boils down to two things: watch time and shareability. The big difference here is that watch time just used to mean retention rate and average duration of watch. But now TikTok are exposing that they're specifically looking at completion rate. This means it's no longer good enough to have a video with a good hook. It's no longer good enough to have a video that keeps people entertained for 80% of the video. Your video has to keep people around to the end. They have to finish it, and if they rewatch it, that is the most powerful signal that they're looking out for when they're trying to determine if a video will go viral or not. So completion rate is the most important thing, and as pretty much it always has been, shareability is the second. Likes mean niche, comments are meaning less and less. You need to get people to finish watching your video all the way through, and you need to find a way to get people to share. Now there are a couple of ways that we've seen after analyzing hundreds of accounts that increase the completion rate of a video. So if you want me to get a video out talking about that specifically, just comment completion rate, and enough people do so, I'll get that out next week. And even with all these changes of how TikTok is analyzing content, you can still grow